In some states, you are allowed to register and vote the same day. Like you can register on election day and vote. I don't think that's a good idea. Seems like a more opportunity for crap to happen, but that turned out to be, I heard, not true, and maybe that would explain how that would happen, because you have all these people registered and voting the same day. Nevada, whatever you want to say, was called yesterday, but now it's back. It's back on. Michigan and Wisconsin, there is, remember by county, every election is by county. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be multiple lawsuits and multiple, not necessarily lawsuits, asking of recounts and asking for investigations to be done about improprieties or weird stuff happening. That's still going on. I know in Wisconsin and Michigan. I'm sure that North Carolina is not supposed to be done until next week because their law said mail-in ballots could come in by November 12th. So that one's going to be there for a while. That's a long time. In Nevada, I guess they're counting these two. There's a lot left. 75% there, 80%, 83%. Las Vegas. Okay, Clark County is Las Vegas. They got 72% in. Biden's winning by what, 6 or 7? I didn't think about this. I automatically assumed Las Vegas, big city, Biden's going to win that. What is Las Vegas dependent on?
Casinos.
Tourism. And which candidate is going to... Trump's not going to shut Las Vegas down anymore. The state might. Biden might. I didn't think of that. That Biden might do more to damage tourism there than Trump will. I didn't think of that part of it. And Reno, the same thing. That's a big tourism deal. So it could, even though that's a big jump. And overall, come on now. I guess I can figure out how to do this. Overall, it is really close. So that could, if Trump wins Nevada, he would have to win the rest of them to win. If Biden wins Nevada, he wins because he is at 264. How many of y'all have heard or even maybe said, your vote doesn't count because you got this electoral deal? Okay. I can prove that's wrong.
Because the electoral college people are only voting for what they think the population wants of the state.
But how do they get to vote? Based on each state's vote. And look how close all these states are. It's possible there's 99% here. Look at this. Look how close that is. How important is each vote in these states where these races are being contested?
Very, very.
I've heard Nevada might come down to 500 votes. So really what we got is 50 different elections. And they're neck and neck, they're tight, so every vote counts in each one of these states. But if it was just population, the winner would be thousands of votes ahead, hundreds of thousands of votes ahead. Your vote really wouldn't matter that much. But because individual races matter and counties matter, your vote really counts more because we got this electoral thing. It spreads everything out.
I saw a thing the other day that, because the media was reporting that Biden had won Michigan, right?
Yes.
And that was supposed to, that was the swing state.
Yes.
And then I saw another thing that said on the official, the county clerk's website or whatever, that's updating every 10 minutes with the new count of votes in Wisconsin or in Michigan. It wasn't showing Biden to be leading. It was showing Trump to be leading. So
in that county or in the?
I don't know. It was weird. It was showing that Trump was leading, even though the media was reporting Biden had already won it.
Well, there's going to be recounts in Michigan and in Wisconsin. Wisconsin for sure. even if nobody was griping, there'd be recounts because it's so close. There would be, there is like automatic recounts if it's within a certain percentage. But the question's gonna be, and it is relatively easy to prove something weird's going on in an election. If, I heard somebody talking about this, they can come in and see, just looking at the ballots or how they're tabulated or what's going on, they can kind of say, well, something's weird here when you have certain things. The question is going to be, what votes were counted and what votes weren't counted? And they're going to look at, were these votes counted that shouldn't have been counted, and were these votes not counted that shouldn't have been counted? Based on, like, if you don't sign it, if you don't, there's certain things you have to do to have your vote count. You have to do it the right way. I told you, every election, dead people vote. Every election we've ever had, dead people vote. You just get a whole, somebody asked me how, I was like, well, I don't know how to rob a bank, but there's people that spend their lives learning how to rob banks. There's just evil people, and there's some people that figure out, hey, if I do this, I can register this name. Like when I went to vote, I had a driver's license. So I just showed my driver's license, and they beep it now, which I guess is a little, there's like a barcode on the back. I guess that's a little bit safer. It's probably harder to do that, fake that, than just the picture with an address on there. But if you can get a name registered, then you can vote. That person can vote. And some states you don't have to have a photo ID, some you do. But we'll see what happens. Did I show you the commercial yesterday? Did I tell you about Reagan yesterday?
Yes.
About how him and Tip O'Neill? Okay. These are the two people that were running for governor in Utah.
Oh, yeah.
Did I show you this?
I
saw it?
I said something about it.
Okay. All right. Maybe you. Is anybody? Trying to be cool, do it up here. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Why build a pillow tower for nasal congestion relief? Try new Afrin Night. Unlike pills, it unblocks your nose in seconds and lasts up to 12 hours for a more restful night.
Thank you.
I'm Chris Peterson. And I'm Spencer Cox. We are currently in the final days of campaigning against each other to be your next governor. And while I think you should vote for me,
Yeah, but really you should vote for me.
there are some things we both agree on. We can debate issues without degrading each other's character. We can disagree without hating each other.
And win or lose in Utah, we work together.
So let's show the country that there's a better way.
My name's Chris Peterson.
And I'm Spencer Cox.
And
We approve this message.
I will take that 50 times over any, I'm sorry, I don't mean anything negative against this lady, I just don't know her opponent.
We have a political message that is going viral, and it's going viral for all the right reasons. Going viral.
Was it Candace Venezuela and her opponent? Those commercials with the black and white and the E, I like that. That made me feel kind of decent about America. Is that working? Oh, all right. Let me share some stuff with you that'll help you tomorrow, I hope. There's a story in your book, and I read it to the last class. I won't read it to y'all because y'all can read it. It's about Flint, Michigan, and the water deal. Remember that a few years ago? The water just went bad, and it was just pointing out all the different bureaucracies that messed up, all the different agencies that messed up on that. I can't see with this. I can't see this without this. And I can't put these on with this. Golly, this world is jacked up. Okay. So excited. You can't be cool and do that, but it can be. Alright. Alright, see. This, I thought this example was really good. I never thought of this. The Flint water crisis is a dramatic example of bureaucratic failure. Americans depend on public bureaucracies for providing services they use every day and in emergencies. On a typical day, a college student might check the weather forecast, drive on an interstate highway, mail the rent check, drink from a public water fountain, check the calories on the side of a yogurt container, attend a class, go online, and meet a relative at the airport. Each of these activities is possible because of the work of a government bureaucrat. The U.S. Weather Service, the U.S. Department of Transportation, the U.S. Postal Service, Environmental Protection Agency, Food and Drug Administration, student loan programs of the U.S. Department of Education, and the Advanced Research Project Agency, which developed the internet. Speaking of loans, the Riles can use the crap out of student loan programs. I've paid mine. Took me 10 years, but I could have had a second truck instead of paying loans, but I paid for loans. Little Christy's not paying for her loan. Because she teaches special ed, she's got, we file separately. We're using the system. The system's allowing us to do this. We file separately, not because we don't like each other, but because it lowers her income, and the government looks at her income and sees she teaches special ed, so they forgive her loans. So we have to do that for 10 years. I think we got 3 more years left. Colt owes about 120 grand. So I've been told we're going to probably help him. But he's gonna be paying his loans.
That's how it is, like certain degrees, like pre-professional or like professional degrees and then like education degrees like that.
Yeah.
They like produce student loans. I know, like for like vet medicine, like
Mhm.
if you, because the like the veterinary association or whatever it is, they like identify areas
Yeah.
where they need like specific kinds of vets, and if you're willing to like go work there,
Right.
then they like will just forgive all your student loans.
Colt has said there are schools you can work at that they will forgive your loans. If you work there, he's gonna look for that. Okay. Let's see right here. There's only a few things I wanna talk to you about here. We mentioned how the president, the administration their job is to carry out what Congress is doing, and these agencies do that, but they can change the way their agency handles that. Each administration can decide how their administration is going to do some things. The Federal Reserve, okay, 2 things here. Fiscal policy, FISCAL. Fiscal policy affects government taxing and spending. So the budget is a fiscal policy deal, and the tax rates is a fiscal policy deal. That does affect us, taxes does. But monetary policy affects us spending money. The Fed changes interest rates. They raise interest rates and they lower interest rates. If they raise interest rates, what does that mean for y'all? Like in the future. What if you're buying a car? Does that affect you buying a car? If they raise interest rates, it's going to mean you maybe can't buy one, or you're going to pay more for one, or buying a house. If they lower interest rates, it's going to help you buy a car or a house. And we've had low interest rates since like 2008. They've been dropping. And low interest rates, I skipped every day of economics school, but low interest rates are not great for the economy. And right now they're as absolutely low as they possibly can be. They've been that way for a couple of years. I'm betting by the time y'all start buying houses and stuff, they'll be up a little bit. I'm not telling you it's going to be 50% or anything, but anyway. Monetary affects our spending money. Fiscal affects government budgets and all that kind of stuff. The IRS, what's the IRS? This will have a big role in your life.
International Revenue Service.
Internal Revenue Service. They're the tax people. They're in charge of our taxes. They are under the Treasury Department, but they really have they're really kind of a rogue, kind of their own thing. I heard a congressman several years ago say, we don't even understand the tax laws, and we're the ones that write them, and we really have no say-so over what they do. It's like coaching a freshman football team and saying, well, they're in charge of their own stuff. No, they're not. Somebody take charge of it. The VHA, the veterans, like VA hospitals and that kind of stuff, is under. Privatization. What do you think privatization means? If you privatize something, what have you done to it?
It's like there's no shares in a business, it's like family owned.
Okay, yes. Social Security doesn't work. Have we talked about Social Security in here? Y'all are paying into Social Security. You'll never see that, ever. Because it'll be dissolved by the time you get it. Right now, we're paying for Grandma to eat, because she was promised she would get to eat, and they stole her money. So there's nothing in the bathtub. This is economics. Okay, little bathtub here. Here's the faucet. What will never happen in this bathtub?
It'll never fill up.
It'll never fill up. Okay? Drains open. All the money coming in the government goes directly out the drain. There's nowhere where it stays. They took Social Security money. There was a Social Security trust fund. There's a big pile of money. And some congressman was walking by and looked in this room and saw it and went, "Hey guys, hey, there's a big pile of money in here." And all of Congress came in and just took it. So there's no Social Security money. All the money that comes in goes right out. This is Social Security. And I want y'all to remember this picture. This is Social Security. Look at this, please look at this. It's important that you know this. Anytime you hear Social Security, this is what you need to picture. Everybody picture it? Picture that when you hear Social Security. So what does that tell you about Social Security?
It sucks.
It's sinking, it's broken. It's not dead yet, but it's dying. Right? Are you buying a ticket on the Titanic?
No.
No, it's at the bottom of the ocean. The reason it's sinking is because government is over it. Does government have to do things right to stay in business? No. If a private individual, if we privatize Social Security and a company was in control of it, would it work? If the post office was put into private hands and taken out of government hands, would it work? Why would it work?
Because you have to make it work.
You have to. FedEx works. What else? What else we got? UPS work. They work. They make a profit. U.S. Postal Service does not make a profit because the government, there's no pressure on the government to make it work. If you put Social Security in private hands, they would make sure it worked or they'd go out of business. So when you privatize something, you put it in private hands, maybe take it out of government hands, put it in private hands, they're always going to do a better job than the government because they have to.
It's like whenever you do a retirement fund, like Edward Jones or something.
Yeah.
If that retirement fund doesn't work, it's on them.
Yes. Yeah, and you're not going to keep, we can't choose what Texas teachers did 7 years ago. We ain't on Social Security. We got our own retirement system. But you can't choose to opt out of Social Security. There's no competition. There's no pressure on them to do. I think you get 3% gain on your investment. You would never stay with a company that gave you 3% return on your investment. So if you hear about privatizing something, it just means to take it out of government hands and put it into private hands. And it's good. It works. All right. I hope that helps. I think there's always like 3 or 4 more quizzes and that's it. I think there's 4 counting this one. You know when the final is? Early December maybe?
Well, our final paper is due the 20th.
Okay. Is there like a final exam or anything? It's gotta be, it's college.
I don't know.
I would think early December.
essentially privatized world peace. I'm in twos. I'm in three. That's what it when we evil is.
Not necessarily.
You can get it now.
Still Ragnarok.
Okay. Okay. Never mind. That was a good one.
It is good.
I can't believe you go with that. It's like that. It takes forever to think of that.
Or the first movie.
Hey, that doesn't count. You don't know, like, you're just picking a Marvel. They're all.
Well, I'm just saying, especially with the end of Marvel Universe, the third one, usually. The third Captain America.
No.
Winter Soldier is not third Captain America.
No.
What? Winter Soldier? Dude, that's easily one of the best ones. I'm also kind of biased. That was the first one we got. Well, actually, I guess I watched the first Captain America on TV, and like, oh gosh, these are so cool. So I made my mom take me to the movie theaters to go see Winter Soldier. That was like, what about I was gonna say Ocean's 13. It's better than Ocean's 12.
I've never seen any of these.
You've never seen any of the Ocean's movies? What is wrong with
Ocean's
you?
12 is the worst one.
Yeah, Ocean's 12 is not.
That should not have even been a movie.
No, it's
Like the part where what's her face? Is
Julia
like,
Roberts is
yeah,
playing
Julia Roberts is playing Julia Roberts in the. That was so dumb.
Okay, Austin's the third Austin Power movie. That's a good movie.
The third one?
Which one is that?
First one was best.
Is that
Goldmember.
Goldmember is the first one?
Goldmember's the last
No,
one.
International Man of Mystery.
Oh, that's right. Which one is the second one? The Spy That Shadow?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Goldmember's the one.
That one's pretty funny.
The third one is hilarious, especially the scene where they're getting physical and then